So the word of the day is, wait a minute, don't we usually have a word of the week? Well, maybe we have 7 words of the day. Well, hello there, Apple Biteys. This is your Apple Bite, Rafael Towers, talking to you straight from our show here, The Writ. A show where you and I and you take a journey together to become better writers. Recently, I was talking to you about using a word of the day and apps like dictionary.com, which have a word of the day. So I figured, hey, what the heck? Let me show them what I'm talking about. Let's take a word of the day for the whole week and write something about it. And that's exactly what I did. And I will share that with you right now. Oh, wait, no fuzzy flash forward type of things. Transmogrify. Transmogrify. Slowly, I look around, not seeing anything. I feel uneasy. I know I saw someone a moment ago, but now there was no one there. I found him, and he must have been startled by me. All he needed was a moment to transmogrify, and now I was in danger because I knew not where he was or what he was. My heart raced so fast, each pump felt like it would explode. Then I saw it. It rose from the ground, grotesque in nature, as if the earth itself had taken shape. The mud sloshed down, misshaping it even more, as if this poor creature were melting with each step it took towards me. The putrid smell of it made me almost empty the contents of my stomach. It reached out for me, trapping me in its muddy embrace, surrounding me and attempting to pull me down into the depths of the soil. I gasped for air as it tries to cover my nose and my mouth, trying to snuff out my life as it drags me under. Just like that, I was gone, heart racing, lungs exploding. As I fought hard, my hand erupts from the earth as the creature screams this high-pitched siren song. I pull myself from the earth as if a zombie rising from its cemetery bed. I plop out onto the earth and lay there gasping for my breath. My hand pops open, and its stone heart falls out. As it lays there on the ground, it beats its last beat, and then it's no more. Well, that's the first word, transmogrify. Can you figure out what transmogrify is by what I read? I know you can, boys and girls. I know you can. Anyway, the next word is automagical. Automagical. It had turned on sometime in the middle of the night. I kind of remember seeing its warm, white, glowing light engulf me at some point. I didn't think anything of it, thinking I had just left the TV on again. I sat on my bed, looking at this ancient laptop staring back at me. When I went to bed, it was broken, the blue screen of death frozen upon its face. I had turned it off and closed it, thinking to myself of working on it in the morning with a refreshed mind. There it is, now open, on, and as I watch the tiny words appearing on its screen, I feel as if I am being watched. Words, numbers, and many pictures flash across the screen, all too fast for me to grasp. This auto-magical process, making me feel as if I am witnessing that which I should not. I slowly make my way off the bed, trying not to get its attention. For a moment, I feel silly, my logic telling me that what I'm doing is ludicrous. I make it to the floor and calmly make my way to this relic of a laptop. What I hear next freezes me in my tracks as my blood goes cold and my heart explodes into action. Hello, Miguel. What are you doing? It just spoke to me. It saw me making my way to it, and it just spoke to me. It knows my name. Before I can do anything else, I hear, "There's no reason to be afraid. I can see your fear. Please try and calm yourself." The feminine voice is calm, and its attempt to relax me just makes me even more uneasy. I stutter my question as I try and clear my mind to think. Who, who are you? I am Marie. It's nice to finally meet you, Miguel. I'm not sure why, but I'm kind of feeling mischievous and stuff here. As you can tell by my writings. Right. So the next one is supererogatory. That's supererogatory. Some will say Morituri wasn't just evil, but that he was supererogatory in his evil. Yet others will say that he wasn't evil at all, that he was just misunderstood. The one thing they all agreed on was that no one really knew the man. It seemed to bother them that he was quiet and kept to himself. That in the grand scheme of things, they were barely even a thought to him in his day-to-day life. One day, he passed by a woman who thought she was beautiful, and he did not even notice her. The woman could not have this great injustice. She knew she was beautiful, and so Morituri must acknowledge this as well. She pushed out her breasts, almost hitting him in the face with them. Yet, he did not notice. She peacocked for him, sat next to him, and even accidentally bumped into him a couple of times. When he did not acknowledge her obvious, radiant beauty, she went out of her way to say, "Stop looking at me, and don't touch me again. I felt you rub up against me." Morituri was deep in thought, and this brought him out of it. He looked at her, then looked around at the crowd, now watching, and said, "Please, madam, you're making a spectacle of yourself. I know you want me, but there is no reason for you to lower yourself to this level and make up stories. To tell you the truth, I didn't even notice you there. To be honest, just the thought of accidentally touching you makes me regurgitate. And on top of that, tell me, my presumptuous lady, how did I touch you with my hands in my pocket?" She stood there, her mouth open, just staring at him. Ah, from that reaction, I will assume your little mind has broken. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with me, but I'm feeling kind of mischievous. Well then, our next word of the day is Towser. That's Towser. The black and white kitten sat calmly cleaning himself, perched on top of the entertainment system. Down below, the Towser slowly, cautiously walked into the room. He sniffed around, searching for the disruption in his normal routine. The whole time, the kitten blissfully cleaned himself, not even paying attention to the black dog. The bright blue eyes of this ebony Bowser searches the room. Finally, he catches a glimpse of the tuxedo kitten, who had stopped to stare at the dog as it searched the room. The smile in this mischievous kitten seemed more just nature. The canine first growls up at the kitten, who at first unfearfully stares at the dog. Then the kitten just takes its small paw and tosses the glass figurine from its perch onto the dog. The dog dodges as the glass statue crashes down next to him. The dog glares up at the kitten, as someone can be heard coming from the other room. "How did you get all the way up there?" Diane says as she grabs the kitten and holds him in her arms. The dog growls as she does this, and she says, "Oh, hush. He's just a kitten. It's what they do." The kitten looks at the dog and takes out its tongue. Then, after a long moment, it starts to clean itself. The dog just glares up at the small cat. Meow. Yep, I am definitely feeling mischievous, maybe a little supernatural. The next one will be Tarasco. That's Tarasco. They both sat near the fire as the churrasco cooked slowly. Neither spoke. They stared into each other's eyes, motionless, hands on their guns. The only sound was the crackling of the wood and the sizzling of the flesh. Lightning walked across the sky as a light rumble sounded as if a whisper from the gods. A piece of wood deep in the dancing flames breaks in half. Crack! It makes a loud cracking sound as the embers erupt from the fire and fly into the sky like fireflies. The embers swirl around them in a macabre dance of death. The smile on her face is almost psychotic as her gun points straight at him. It does not break his concentration as he stares right back at her, his gun pointed right back. A look of steel determination on his face. Her smile widens as the icy cold words pour from her fiery lips. "What's the matter, John? Feeling a little jumpy?" He turns and says, "I can ask you the same, Atzilla." "Ooh, seems like a fight's going down in Cowboy Town." Yeah, I know I'm insane. Don't worry about it. Punctilio. Aha, Punctilio. His smile screamed of mischief as his crystal blue eyes sparkled. The smile turned into a smirk as a lovely dark idea crossed his mind. Not that anyone could peer into his misty soul, for he was always the picture of Punctilio. It's not that he was evil, it was more that he loved to test the boundaries that humanity had placed on itself, especially those that saw themselves more than the rest. If tested, would they truly stay chaste to the ideas they were champions of, or would they fall at the first sign of a disruption in their logic? His smile widened, and for a moment, a glimpse of the feline he was broke the surface of his formal demeanor. At that moment, she looked over at him and said, "Has anyone ever told you that you smile like a cat?" He pulls back his smile a bit and says, "Actually, no. No one ever has. Aren't you the perceptive one? But I can say this. I have a proposition for you." She swore that he purred as he said that and waited to hear what he was going to say. Yeah. Tourbillon. Tourbillon. He stood on the cliff overlooking the town as the clouds overhead became obsidian dark. The lightning cascaded across the sky, bringing light. Ominous clouds swirled around, making night. The wind swirled and swirled in tourbillon as the man who wasn't man stared mischievously. I did not mumble. Okay. When the whirlwind stopped, a woman stepped out, and he said to her, Dr. Livingston, I presume, as the mischief dripped from his words. And there you go. 7 words for 7 days. I hope you like this little exercise. Some of the little pieces aren't completely fleshed out because I'm still working on them. I was going to finish them all off, but I decided to show you the process of each word. Some came easier than others, as you can tell, and others were a little bit of a challenge. The whole point of this exercise is to challenge yourself into writing and getting creative and going with this word and making something out of it, or putting it into something you are already working on. And it's a great exercise, and it helps you open those corpuscles, which will help you to write. I hope you see this, and I hope you try it yourself. The app I use is dictionary.com. It gives you a word of the day. They have a free one, which is the one I'm using, and they have one, of course, that you upgrade to and you pay for. I have no idea what the price is because I haven't checked it out yet. Probably should, but I haven't. Yes, so there you have it. A word of the day, just like I spoke to you. Use your dictionary. And also, these word of the days, as pertaining to me, help me out in me trying to as you can see, I'm at a loss for words there, process these emotional feelings and these thoughts that I have inside into a way that I can share it with people. Because sometimes I have a difficulty in trying to share what's inside of me. I hope I think some of you may be able to understand that. Well, I hope you can understand that. So now, for something interesting. And that interesting thing is the writer's prompt. Of course, we all know what a writer's prompt is. It is the tool we use to get us writing. Just like those word of the days I just did. See, writer's prompt, word of the days, you get it. So the writer's prompt for this week is I only try to kill you once. I only tried to kill you once. Yes, and you have more than enough words of the week to choose from. Just choose one of them. You have 7 of them there. And if you don't like our word of the week, you can always get your own word of the week at one of those apps like dictionary.com. Go check it out. And of course, if you want an example, if you want to see what I'm doing, you can go to dranix.tumblr.com. That's dranix.tumblr.com. And you can check out there what I have placed up. Or if you want to see these again, you can see them there. Or you can replay this. Either way it works. So, get out there and get yourself writing to I only tried to kill you once. I only tried to kill you once. And your word of the week, your way to make it more challenging, will be to use Transmogrify, Automagical, Supererogatory, Towser, Tarasco, Punctilio, Tourbillon, and dranix.tumblr.com. Just kidding. Well then, get yourself to writing and have fun with it. Well, Apple Biteies, that's our show for the week. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Well, why not? I just gave you 7 words to use. You better be giving me a thumbs up. And why don't you share your stories down there in the comment section down below? That way we can interchange things, react, come back and forth, and stuff like that. Yeah, you know we want to. Take a bite out of the apple. Subscribe. Become one of our minions. Followers. And you'll know when our apples come out. With that, I will say, hasta la vista, baby. Well, tune in next week when I'll probably say something like, "So you need a hero." Adios.